Are you tired of watching endless Python tutorials, but still not feeling like you're really learning anything? I get it. I've been there too. But what if I told you that you could stop wasting time and actually learn Python faster than ever using methods that really work? Stick with me in this video because I'm going to share the exact step-by-step approach I would take if I had to learn Python from scratch in 2024. And it's not about wasting hours watching tutorials. And by the end, I will also reveal a proven trick that can boost your learning retention by 75 to 90%. Let's dive in. First off, let's get to what Python is and why you should focus on it right now. Python is a general purpose language used everywhere, from data analysis to AI. But what makes Python unique is its simplicity. You don't need a computer science degree to master Python. But I know the real challenge isn't understanding what Python is. It's learning how to use Python effectively. And that's what we're going to get into next. As for why you should learn Python, it's not just because it is popular. According to Stack Overflow survey, Python is the most in-demand skills for data analysts, engineers, and scientists. But here is the kicker. It's not just about knowing Python. It's about knowing how to use Python to understand data and make decisions. In fact, I'm not just going to tell you why Python is important. I'm going to show you how to skip the fluff and focus on real projects that will get you job ready. And trust me, we'll get into these projects later in the video, so stay with me. Step 1 is getting your environment set up. And here's the thing, if you're spending hours trying to choose between IDEs and setup configurations, you're doing it wrong. It's simple. Start with Jupyter Notebooks or Google Colab. You can set it up in minutes and start coding right away. Later in this video, I'll show you why it doesn't matter what environment you use, as long as you focus on what actually gets results. And I'll also give you a hack that lets you start coding Python today without installing anything. Now, when it comes to learning Python fundamentals, here's where most people waste time. They watch hours of tutorials trying to memorize every little syntax detail. I'll tell you right now, you don't need to do that. You don't need to memorize everything. What you need is to focus on the core concepts and learn by doing. Interactive learning is how I mastered Python, and it's what will work for you too. Later, I'm going to share one platform that completely changed the way I learned Python by letting me code right in the browser. No setup, no fluff. You would want to check this out. Step 3 is where everything changes, learning Python in context. Let's be real, learning Python just by watching videos, just by watching someone else write code, won't teach you how to think like a data analyst or an engineer. Project 1, analyze spending habits. I will start with something simple and familiar, like analyzing my own spending habits using Python pandas library. You can pull in a CSV file, clean the data, and run basic analysis. This project alone will teach you 80% of Python skills you need for data analysis. Project 2, movie recommendation system. Then I'll build a movie recommendation system. With this project, you will learn how to manipulate data and even start working with machine learning models. Trust me, this is where Python becomes fun. But here's the best part. I've got a third project coming up that will not only test your Python skills, but will actually give you something tangible to show your employers. I'll reveal it in a minute. Step 4, practice and reinforce. Here's a secret that most beginners miss. Consistent practice is the only way you retain what you've learned. There's something called the curve of forgetting, which shows that within 30 days, you only remember about 2 to 3% of what you learn, unless we reinforce it regularly. But here's the trick. If you practice Python for even 10 minutes a day, you can retain up to 90% of what you learn. I'll share a daily routine you can start using right now to make sure you don't lose any of the skills you've worked so hard to gain. So how much Python should you actually know? Well, if you're a beginner or a project manager, you only need enough Python to query data and automate basic tasks. But if you're aiming for a role like a data engineer or data scientist, you need to go deeper. I'm going to list the most important topics to focus on, and I'll show you how to build out your own Python path in the next segment. The real secret to learning Python fast is to work on real-world problems and practice consistently. Python is a skill you will build over time, and the more you use it, the better you get. Remember, it's not about mastering the syntax, it's about learning to think critically with data. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people who give up after tutorial 50. And as promised, here's my final trick to make sure you retain everything you've learned. Use Python every day, even if it's just 10 minutes, and make sure you challenge yourself with new projects. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me what sort of videos you want me to do, whether it's more of data engineering videos, data analysis, or if you want me to do a boot camp where I can teach you SQL from beginner to an expert level, or teach you Python, or teach you data engineering from A to Z. Thank you very much.